What's up everyone, my name is Marie, welcome to my channel and welcome to another speed build. So for today's video I am building a house that I actually had a lot of fun with. It's a very cheap house, you can already tell by the title probably, I'm not sure yet what I want to call it, but it's a cheap first house and it's not quite a starter home. I think it comes in at about 23,000 simoleons. Somewhere between 23,000 and 24,000 simoleons is my guess. We'll take a look at the actual price when we hop in the game and I'll show you the house in real time. But yeah, it's very cheap. It's not a starter home, but you could easily turn it into a starter home if you wanted to, because it has 2 bedrooms and I did fully furnish the place. Granted, I actually used the cheapest appliances and stuff, and very cheap furniture as well, but you could easily get rid of some decorations, or maybe if you want to use this house for a family or something. So yeah, I think that you could very easily turn it into an actual starter home if you wanted it to, but if you don't want to change anything, then, well, I guess you're just gonna have to save up a little bit of money, but it's fairly cheap is what I'm trying to say with this little rant. But yeah, I really like this house. I figured it could be perfect for a couple of best friends that actually bought this house. And you can see that I used some like wallpapers and stuff that do look a little bit used, I guess. They look a little bit beat up. And I figured that kind of adds to like the realism of the house. Maybe if you buy this house, you want to save up and like give it a paint job and just, you know, make it look a little bit better, just renovate it a little bit. And especially on the inside, I use a lot of like those cracks and stains on the wall. I think a lot of those come with like the Vampires game pack, if I'm not mistaken. They don't cost anything, which makes sense, but still, like sometimes in The Sims, the most random little things are very expensive, but those stains on the wall are actually free. So yeah, I used quite a bit of those on the inside of the house. So yeah, I think this house would be really fun to actually try and renovate and make it look a little bit more fresh and just a little bit newer, I guess. I think that would be a lot of fun to do with this house. And so yeah, I went for a very brown, beigey, and white color scheme. I know that there is a column missing. It's bothering me now that I'm looking at the footage. There is a column missing at the front porch, like right next to the staircase. I fixed that though. I don't think that's in the speed build, but I did fix it. So if you want to go ahead and download this house, or I'll just show you in the real-time tour in a little bit anyway. But that column is not missing anymore, but it's missing right now and it's really annoying to me. I don't know how I didn't notice that before, but yeah. I fixed it though, so there is not an issue there. But you can see that we actually moved on to the inside of the house, and I used those very cheap and beat up countertops from, what are they from? I think they're from City Living, if I'm not mistaken. And so are the appliances that I used, the fridge and the stove. They're very beat up, very cheap, very gross looking. However, they work. So yeah, I was trying to save as much money as I could on the interior of the house. I wasn't trying to make it a starter home, but I was trying to keep it as cheap as possible. So that's really what I went with. And yeah, I succeeded. So yeah, I added a trash can and everything is fully functional. I know that it may look like the kitchen isn't functional, but it is, because the corner counters, your Sims can actually use those for cooking and chopping stuff. So I left one corner counter free of clutter and it's all usable. I playtested everything, so you should be fine there. But yeah, like I said, you could easily turn it into a starter home by, for example, deleting the curtains that I used. I know those are not the cheapest. I placed a little cork board next to the front door with like some, with just like some little cards on it, some postcards. You could easily delete those little things because they do cost some money and it adds up pretty quickly. I also cluttered up like this corner of the counters with a bucket and just some random little decorations. I also placed a microwave, which is not like necessary for gameplay. I mean, it's nice to have one, but it's not necessary. So those little decorative items or those little appliances, you can just delete those and it adds up pretty quickly. So yeah, it should be fairly easy to make the house even cheaper. So yeah, I just wanted to let you know, but I really like how the interior of this house turned out. So as I was explaining before, I was thinking that this house was perfect for a couple of best friends. They could also be siblings maybe, but I was thinking two best friends that really wanted to buy a house to just get started on their lives basically. And they're really close, so they figured why not buy a house together. So that's kind of the vibe that I was trying to go for. And they have a lot of mismatched furniture in a lot of like weird colors maybe, but at the same time it also kind of matches and I think it looks really cute. But yeah, I was definitely trying to go for that look where you can see that both the roommates just brought in furniture from different places, just hand-me-downs or secondhand items that were really cheap and that don't necessarily match. But they just kind of filled the house with everything that they have basically from like their first apartment or whatever, or from their parents' house or their grandparents' house or whatever. They just brought in whatever furniture they could find and tried to make it work. And that's kind of the look that I was going for. And I think that it turned out really nice. I love the colors in this little living area. The beat up rug that I used, I think looks really nice. The colors are very pretty. I'm a sucker for like orange and teal kind of color combinations, or yellow and blue, like those types of colors I think are really nice. And yeah, I also placed a little dining table, which I was a little bit cheaty with some of the furniture items because I used some items from the Eco Lifestyle Hidden Objects menu. So for example, this dining table, you can find that in the dumpster. You can't actually buy it from the catalog if you don't have the BB. Show Life Added Objects or BB. Show Hidden Objects, one of those two cheats. You can't actually find it otherwise, but I placed it down. I think it's very cheap. And I also used the beds, like the mattresses on the floor that you can find in the dumpster. I used those for both the bedrooms. So maybe that's a little bit cheaty. Like if you don't have Eco Lifestyle, then you can't actually use those items, and then you'll have to buy a significantly more expensive dining table and more expensive beds as well. But still, there's very cheap beds that come with base game even, so that should easily be fixable. You can also see that I used the wallpaper inside from, I think that wallpaper also comes with City Living, if I'm not mistaken. There is a similar one in base game, but this one actually looks a little bit more beat up. You can see that at the bottom of like the wall, you can see that there's like some stains and stuff. And I really like how that looks. It makes it so realistic. And for this house that is meant to be older and not recently renovated and a little bit beat up, that wallpaper is just perfect. But you can see that this is one of the bedrooms, and I love the color scheme in here. Again, I used blue and yellow mainly, and then some other pops of color as well here and there. This is definitely the biggest bedroom. This one has a desk in it. There's no computer because that was just too expensive. So there is no computer in this house, but you could easily turn this bedroom into a bedroom plus study area if you wanted to. So yeah, I just made sure to place a desk in here. And then the other bedroom is significantly smaller. There's no desk in there. It's just a bed and a dresser in there and some decorations as well. But yeah, that bedroom is definitely a little bit smaller, but I really like this one. It's very bright and colorful, and you can definitely tell that even though it's very kind of gross looking and really beat up, these roommates, they just really tried to make it look as cozy as possible in here. And yeah, I think that it worked out very nicely. And this bedroom is a little bit darker. The color scheme is a little bit darker. I was kind of experimenting with that brown wallpaper, see if I could make it look cute. And I think I succeeded. Like, even though the wallpaper is a little bit darker, it still really looks fresh in here because of the, because of the other colors that I use, basically orange and blue. It's a little bit different, a little bit more, I don't know, less generic, I guess, but I still really like it. I could understand if you wanted to change the wallpaper though, if you wanted to make it look a little bit more fresh and bright in here. Of course, you can go ahead and do so, but I figured maybe they didn't have the money, or they probably didn't have the money to repaint the walls and stuff. So yeah, they just had to make do basically. And I was really enjoying furnishing with that thought in my mind. So yeah, I was just trying to find some wall decorations that I thought would fit the vibe. You could also go with the storyline that maybe these best friends are still in university. Maybe they're going to college or something, but they did have some money saved up to actually buy a house to live together. And yeah, maybe that's a storyline that you can go with. You could even have 4 Sims living in this house because both the double beds are accessible from both sides. But yeah, there's only 1 bathroom though, so that would maybe be a little bit annoying because yeah, for gameplay, that's just a little bit difficult. But if you're going with the storyline of students, then maybe it could be fun. Like, you could turn the bedrooms into like double bed, or no, not double beds, but like 4 single beds. And then maybe that would be a lot of fun. I don't know, it could be a challenge. Like, for university type storylines, I think that would be a lot of fun. But yeah, that was actually already it for the inside of the house. I'm just furnishing the backyard a little bit. I did make sure to give them like a nice picnic table so they can just sit outside and have like dinner or whatever. There's no grill though, but you could easily add one if you wanted to. I did make sure to actually place an easel back here to have like an extra skill building item. There's also an accessible bookcase in the house, so you should be fine there. No computer though, like I explained, but still a couple of skill building items, which I think is quite nice. And then I also added some gardening pots, so you could work on the gardening skill as well if you wanted to. And yeah, just some lounging chairs so your Sims can enjoy the sun and the nice weather. They can just hang out outside. All in all, I think that this house is really nice to actually buy as a first home because it has everything you need. It even has like a nice little, quite spacious backyard actually. And then, yeah, for the landscaping, I just tried to make it look quite overgrown. Like, not crazy overgrown, but it's definitely overgrown, and the landscaping could definitely use some help. So maybe that could be fun to renovate as well. That's really what I was going for. You can see that I used a lot of like bigger bushes and low-lying plants, and just some random like grass here and there, which doesn't necessarily look pretty, but it definitely adds to the realism of this like older home that definitely needs some love and definitely could use a yeah, just a slight renovation. But yeah, here you can see that I'm just placing down a couple extra bushes and shrubs everywhere, and I was just having so much fun with the landscaping for this place. But yeah, I want to show you the house in real time real quick, so you don't have to sit through all the screenshots if you don't want to do that. So yeah, I was just decorating the front porch a little bit here, but let's just jump into the game and I'll show you the house. So here we are in the game. Let's take a quick look at the house. I mean, there's not much to look at because it's very small. But yeah, this is the front porch, and here is the missing column that I was talking about. It's there, I fixed it, no worries. There's a little mailbox here, and yeah, just a very cutesy little front porch. And then the back of the house, as you probably remember, just looks like this. There is a cute picnic table back here. There is an outside bin, so you're fine there. And then there is an easel for an extra skill building item. And yeah, this is the inside of the house. I really love the entryway with like this little detail with the like postcards next to the front door. And then this cluttered corner in the kitchen makes it look very realistic. There is a spider web, like a cobweb up there. I thought that was a fun detail. And yeah, I just overall think that this house would be a lot of fun to renovate. This is the very small living area with like a television. I sized this one up. This is also a TV that you can find in the dumpster, by the way. So yeah, a very cheap TV, and yeah, just a nice color scheme in here, in my opinion at least. I think it looks quite cute. Little dining area, and then this is the smallest bedroom. I just made some like custom headboards with some cabinets from the City Living counters, and then just a little dresser. And this is the other bedroom with a dresser, mirror, just a desk that you could place a computer on if you wanted to, and another one of those cheap mattresses that you can find in the dumpster. There is a very small bathroom in here as well, just your basic bathroom. Everything is accessible. I play tested it, so you should be fine there. So yeah, as you can see, the house comes in at 23,107 simoleons, so it's not that expensive. It's actually quite affordable. So yeah, that's it for this build. So you can definitely go ahead and download this build off the gallery if you want to. My username on the gallery is Simmarysims. You can also follow me on Twitter and on Instagram if you'd like. My username on there is Simmarysims as well. So I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next build. Bye!